So hi friends, welcome to your favorite channel, Absolute Beginners Coding. So in this video, I'm gonna teach you HTML through Notepad. And if you're someone who doesn't know HTML, what is HTML, and I have no clue about HTML, I just want to learn HTML, and I got you covered. So if you watch this one complete video without knowing anything about HTML, after completion of this video, you're gonna be a god in HTML. You're gonna be a HTML pro. Okay, so let's do one thing. So if you're watching this video, what you want to do is like carefully watch this video. I might go fast, I might be a little slower. So if I'm going fast while you're watching this video, make sure to pause it and prepare yourself, and you can learn it by pausing and opening your notebook. And if I'm going slow, you can skip it. So this is how it works. So if you watch this one video completely, you're gonna be the master in HTML5. Okay, so this is me, Ash, and this is my YouTube channel, Absolute Beginners Coding, and I'm gonna teach you the complete HTML5 that you want to know for the working. So I'm gonna use the Notepad here, so I'm not gonna use any IDE or any text editor. So I'm gonna only use the Notepad since it's for the understanding of absolute beginners, as the name suggests. So let's start learning HTML5, guys. Let's do it. Okay, so this is the maximum size I can do. So you can see the letters right now. So what is HTML5 and why actually we need to learn the HTML5? To answer this question, so let me give you a brief of something. So browser. So internet actually runs on the browsers. It might be Firefox, it might be your Chrome, it might be Opera, it might be Internet Explorer, or it might be like Edge. So you might use any browser you want, but you see the letters, you see the videos, you see the sounds, you see the slideshows, you see the all the texts on the web page, right? So how you're seeing that? It's because of the help of HTML5. So all the tables, all the columns, all the letters, all the video text, size of the videos, image of the videos, everything is shown to you on your web page by using HTML5. So every browser uses HTML to display the letters, the size of the images, videos, tables and columns, and so on. Basically the colors, styles, the size of the fonts comes under the category of CSS, which is also another element of browser. So HTML and CSS are reliant on each other. So without CSS, your HTML page or your web browser will be in black and white, so there will be no color to it. And you should also learn CSS. In addition to that, you should also learn a scripting language like JavaScript or TypeScript or any other scripting language you want to learn. And you also want to learn your framework, your front-end framework like Angular or probably React or Next or Vue. So there are like thousands of front-end frameworks right there. It makes your job easier. So that's the real reason that we are using the frameworks. So right now we're gonna learn HTML. So what's the full form of HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. So it's basically the reason that we are texting or we are seeing the text on the web browser. So that's a name. That's why it got the name like HTML, right? So let's start learning the same. So I just want to give you like some of few uh, what to say, like reasons or why we use HTML. As I said before, that's the reason we are looking into a web browser. So as I said before, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, and it's a standard language. There is no alternative for HTML. There is no any other markup language other than HTML that you can use for creating a web pages. This is only one and basic and primary markup language. There is no alternative for HTML, so there's only one markup language, which is HTML. You have to learn it, and it actually consists of like various elements in it, and it actually insists the browser to show whatever you want to see. It is like broken into many parts like header, body, and paragraph. So we're gonna learn it right now. So to give you a little bit of when it was found by whom, I will tell you. So basically in year 1989, Tim Berners-Lee actually invented HTML, and after 2 years, like in 1991, the Tim Berners-Lee invented the HTML in the year 1991. Actually in 1989 he was the same person to introduce the www, which means that World Wide Web. So the web page where you type your address. So he was the one to find the internet, I guess. So he finds www, that's a World Wide Web protocol, right? He is the one to initiate it, and is the one to find the HTML as well. Later, after 2 years from 1991, in 1993, Dave Ragged actually improved the HTML into HTML5, and in the year 1995, this has been an update to the previous HTML, which was identified as HTML 2.0. People who were working on the improvement of HTML actually invented it. And later, after 2 years, like 1997, HTML 3.2 has been introduced, and in 1999 the fourth version of HTML has been introduced, and in 2008 actually HTML5's first public draft was initiated by Watt WG, and from 2012 we are using HTML5. So right from then to now we are on the same version, so it doesn't need any further more upgrade because it's just a markup language. So it has been implemented and enhanced on the year 2012. So from 2012 to now we are using HTML5, but that's a little bit of improvement here and there. Like in 2016 we had HTML 5.1, and in 2017 we were having another addition to that, the second edition of 5.1 as well. And in HTML 2017 we had 5.2 standard edition, and we are using the same right now. So this is a little bit background of HTML. So first of all, we are seeing the home page right now. You might be seeing the Notepad's home page. Imagine this as the some web browser's home page. So without HTML5 and without anything, it will be just a white blank page, right? So the HTML actually divides this white blank page, which is called as the home page, into different parts. So let me tell you about that. The starting will be a header, and the next is followed by body, and within the head we'll be having the title, and within the body we'll be having the paragraph, and so on. So let's start learning the HTML5 right now. So open your notepad and let's do it. So how to initiate a HTML in your notepad? So basically what you have to do is press your shift and click on the open, I mean like the lesser than symbol and larger than symbol, and what you want to type is inside these brackets type an apostrophe like this, and on the caps you might type DOCTYPE, which means document type, DOCTYPE, DOCTYPE, and leave a little space and type HTML, so which means that the document is HTML. Okay, so this is will tell you, I mean tell your notepad that this is a HTML document. So how to begin? So again within the brackets type HTML and close the bracket, and again type HTML but with a backslash in front. So this is the one thing that you have to remember while you're using HTML, because if anything starts with the HTML inside the brackets, it has to be end with a backslash with the same name. So it means that a particular type has been closed. So this is the HTML document which starts with HTML and it is closing with a backslash, which means it is closing here. So this is same for everything. If you're writing a body, then it should end with backslash body. If you're writing a paragraph with P, it should end with backslash P. So this is one thing you should remember. So since it's a HTML document, everything should be inside this HTML and backslash HTML. So now we have successfully created a HTML page. So let's start typing a heading. So heading will comes inside a bracket like head, so which means it's a heading, and again it should be within a backslash. Great. So this is a heading we are gonna type here. So within the heading we just want to give the title for the page. So let's give the name as title, and again you may have known about this, it should end with a backslash named as title. So it's not necessary it should be in the next line, always it can be like this as well. So what's the name I can give here? So let me give like absolute beginners coding like this. Okay, that's fine, I guess so. And so we have successfully inserted our title right there. Now for instance, I'm gonna initiate a body right now. So the heading is over here. So let me like start a body. I'm gonna type within the brackets body, and I'm gonna copy it. So I'm gonna paste, and I'm gonna end with a backslash, which means the body ends here. So within the body, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start typing a paragraph. So for that, I have to write P, which means it's a paragraph, and it should also end with backslash P. So what can I write here? Let me tell you, like an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So which means that it's a simple line, right? So probably you can use it for a paragraph. You can also use it for a line as well. Doesn't matter. And so what are the other things that we can use within a body? So let me tell you that. So if you're like using the headings for the HTML document, and there are like different sizes that varies from h1 to h6, where h1 is a bigger size and it will reduce to h6. So let us get into hands-on. So I'm going to the head again. So I'm going to type h1 within the bracket, and I'm going to copy it and paste it here, and I'm going to give the backslash right like this. So let me like copy it and paste it like this for h2, h3, h4, h5 and h6. So let me like rename these to h2 for the next size, and h3 for the next size, and h4 and h5, then h6. So the larger will be like h1. So let me like copy the channel name absolute beginners coding, and I will paste it here. So this will be the biggest name of size h1, and it will be like slightly smaller size than h1. h2 is like slightly smaller than h1, and again the h3 will be slightly smaller than h3, and h4 will be like slightly smaller than h3, and h5 will be slightly smaller than h4, and h6 will be like really smaller. So can we like see what we have done? So for that we have to save the document, and let me like save it in E drive, and let me create a folder here which is ABC HTML tutorial, and let me go inside this, and let me like name this as HTML tutorial, and dot HTML, which means it's a HTML file. You can also use HTML as well instead of HTML. Both are HTML extensions. Since it's a HTML file, we have to end it with HTML or .htm. That's your wish. So I've saved it. So let me like open this in the browser. So where's the ABC? I don't know. Oh, it's here. Okay, here's the page. So you can see this, we have opened the HTML file that we have created using Notepad, and you can see the title here, which is Absolute Beginners Coding. So let me like minimize this HTML page right there. Let me like minimize it, and you can see that the heading, inside the heading we have the title, which is Absolute Beginners Coding, and which is like this. So this is the title, Absolute Beginners Coding, and you can I don't know, like where's the HTML file? Oh, it's on the edge, so you can see this here. Okay, let me like give it like side to side so that you'll be having an idea on the same. Okay, so this is the title that we have entered, right? HTML. Inside the head, inside the title, we have given Absolute Beginners Coding, so which actually has the biggest size than the all the h1. So this is the title, which is bigger in size than the h1, Absolute Beginners Coding, right there. So what we have entered here on h1 is slightly the smaller size of from the title, so which is here, and the h2 is slightly smaller than h1, which is again here, and this is h3, and this is h4, this is h5. Oh no, okay, this is h1, this is h2, this is h3, this is h4, this is h5, and this is h6. So the title is for our reference, it will not be displayed. Yes, I got it wrong over there. So title is for our reference. So I'll give you a different word so that you can follow me. So I'm giving like the h1 as apple, and h2 as banana, and h3 as cucumber, and h4 as dog, h5 as elephant, h6 as frog. Okay, so let me like save it right now, and I'm opening it, and I'm like refreshing the page. You can see that h1 is apple, so you can see apple is the biggest size than any other one. So h1 is bigger in size than any other h elements right there. So h1 is bigger, which is apple, and h2 is banana, which is again the second bigger, and it is smaller than h1. h3 is cucumber, which is smaller than h2, and h4 is dog, h5 is elephant, and h6 is frog. So h1 will be the biggest in size, and followed by h2, which is little smaller than h1, followed by h3, which is little bit smaller than h2, and it will be followed by h4, smaller than h3, followed by h5 elephant, which is smaller than h4. Again it is followed by frog, which is h6, which is followed by h5. So you can see that apple, banana, cucumber, dog, elephant, frog, h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6. Okay, and coming to the body, inside the paragraph we have typed an apple a day keeps a doctor away, so which is here. Okay, let's continue learning the HTML. So now we are clear with the title, head, h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6, and body. But there are like few things to learn what is inside the body. Let me like show you another thing, guys. So let's continue the learning right now. So you can also like use A instead of P for writing a line or any text. So it is the same format, starts with A, ends with /A. A does not actually represent anything, it's a name, for some lines that you're writing. Okay, so what I will type here is, I like bananas. Okay, this is inside the A. So let me like save it and see it right now. So it is like the same size of paragraph. Okay, and it doesn't give any changes to it. So what I can do here is, I'm going inside the A brackets and I'm leaving a space right here, and what I can do is I can insert a link. So to do that, what I want to do is I have to write href, which is href, equal to, within the double quotation, I'm gonna type the URL. I just want to type site, so we have to write the complete URL, like https:// and www.apple.com, which means apple.com. This will be like the link which will not be shown, and it will make the word clickable and make it as a link. So the word is apple here again, and the href refers to the reference, which is a https reference, which is another link to another website. So what it makes is, it will make the word apple as a clickable word, which will take you to a website, apple.com. So basically it turns apple into a link. So let's save it and test it out. I'll refresh this page. So you can see that apple has turned into a link, which is inside the bracket A, and we have given the href to apple.com. I'm clicking it, it opens apple.com, right? So this is how you add your web page link in your HTML. So you can use any letter instead of A, B, C, D, it's your wish. And even if you use B, it will be same, I guess. So let me like copy and paste it, and let me like turn this A into B and the \A into B again, and let me like save it, and let me refresh the page. Oh, you should not use B. Look, the apple does not change. So this is the one thing you should learn, guys. So you cannot use any letters you want. You should use A or P, which is both allowed. So you should not use any alphabet letter that you wish to use inside a brackets to form a line. So you cannot use any letters you want. So you can use P, which refers to paragraph. You can use A, which refers to a line or any sentence that you want. So this is how you add a link to your word, by using href equal to, and with the double quotation you can enter the URL completely, only then it will turn into a link. So you might have a doubt, instead of double quotation can I use single quotation? Okay, let's test it out. Okay, so I'm going to remove this double quotation and I'm going to turn into a single quotation, and let's see whether this works or not. It works. Even you can use single quotation in place of double quotation. So you can see that both the apple are like next to the other apple, so they are like side by side. So what I should do, like if I want the second apple to come to the next line, so there comes the line break. which means BR inside the brackets. If you use the BR, it will be like a break of the line, and it will make the other line to come to the next line. So let me like refresh it. So you see the apple, the letter apple comes to the next line. So you should always use BR to break the line. And let's continue learning. So we have learned how to add a link. So let me like give you a heading like here, how to add a link in HTML. So this is for my reference. So does it like show on the web page? Let's see. Yes, it does show on the web page. So what to do to not make it show on the web page? I mean, if you want to add a comment, what you can do? Let me guess. Let us add a star and a backslash, and a star. Will it work? Let's check it out. No, it doesn't work. It actually shows the same. So what to do if you want to add a comment? Will double backslash works? Let's see. It doesn't work. So basically you cannot add a comment to the HTML page. So let me like teach you further. Then let's go like how to add a image. Okay, let's see how to add an image. To do that, inside the bracket, you just want to enter img. This is a shortcut, and it will make that you wanted to add an image. So the thing is that you just don't want to add another backslash image to close it. So this will be the one single bracket where you're gonna add the image. So within that, we want to add the source, which means src, and equal to double quotation or single quotation, it's your choice. We have to add the path of the file. Okay, so to do that, let me like go to a web page. I will download a JPEG image of apple. So apple is here. So this looks pretty. This looks even prettier. Okay, this is an apple, right? Okay, let me like download the apple. Let's see, is this a JPEG image? Yeah, it is. So apple red, which is inside the volume D, and let me like put it inside Apple website and save it. So now what I do is I open my notepad. So what I have to do is I have to enter the location of this apple right now. Let me go to the D and let me go to Apple website, and this is the name here. Let's copy it and paste it. Oh, I didn't copy, I guess. Let me copy it, paste it. And what's the name I have given? I have given it's PPLE red. But the thing you should remember is you should not give a gap for your source image. So let me like fix it. Okay, this is the name, right name. You should not give any gap. So this is the name, and you should also mention what file it is. JPEG file. So this is gonna show. And what else I can do is I can set the height and width. So let me like type height and the same procedure equal to within double quotation. What's the height? Let me like, I'm gonna use pixels. You can use anything like centimeter or whatever measurement you know. So I'm gonna use 100 pixels, and I'm gonna do it for the width, which is again the same procedure. Inside double quotes, the same 100 pixels. So let me like save it, and let me open the web page. Okay, so it is supposed to show an Apple image, but it doesn't show. In this case, what you can do is you can use ALT, which means alternative, which will show the word if the image is not in the destination. And you can actually give a space in between, not a problem. Let's save it. Go to the HTML page right there. So it is showing red apple if the image is not shown. So what's wrong here is, and I think the image source should be inside the same folder of the HTML page. So that's what we should do. So let's copy the red apple, and let's go to the folder of the same, and let's paste it here. So it's actually a JPG file, not a JPEG file. So let's see, like if I turn into a JPG, will it work? It has actually worked. So you can use it from your local drive as well, or any page. It mandatorily shouldn't be the same folder of your HTML file. If it is not in the same folder of your HTML file, then you should completely give the total destination, which is in drive D inside the Apple website folder. Here's the file. If it is in the same folder, you need not to give the name of the destination file. So let's see whether it's working or not. Oh yeah, it's working. Because why it is working is the same apple red.jpg is inside the same folder of the HTML tutorial, right? So the apple red is here. So since both the thing are like in same folder, you need not to mention the drive E. But if it is in some other place, you should mention the drive, and you should specifically mention the folder and everything where it is located. But here you can see I didn't mention the drive E, I didn't mention the ABC HTML tutorial folder name. I have just mentioned the file name because both the files are in same folder. So you can remember this, and you can use this technique as well. So this is how you insert an image inside a HTML, and this is how you use a height, and this is how you use a width, and this is how you use a alternate name if the image is not in the destination. So since the image is in the destination, we will not see this. Look, you're not seeing a red apple here anywhere because the image is in the destination. Earlier we have seen a red apple name here because the image is not in the destination. So this is the image, and if you want to name a image, how you can do that? So let me tell you. So I just want to name an image before it starts. So what you can do is you can, let me give a fresh example. You can write A and you can close it, and you can say red apple. This is the title, and next to it you can actually use this. So you can save it, and I'm going to give a line break here so there won't be any confusion. Okay, so I have saved the file. I'm going to open the file here. I'm going to refresh my page. So you can see here a red apple, and a red apple is actually here. So you want the apple picture to be below the red apple title. You can actually place it next like this, and you can add a break here, which means line break. And okay, you can see that the red apple is below the title red apple. That's cool, isn't it? So you can also change the height and width to your comfort. So basically it will adapt to the same pixel, no matter whether the people might be opening the browser in mobile, tablets, which has different screen size. The size will remain 100 pixel width and 100 pixel height and 100 pixel width. So it will make the image the same size no matter whatever browser they are using. So let's move to the next topic. So in HTML elements, everything starts with a tag name and ends with a backslash tag name, like head, body, P for paragraph, and everything. We have learned about heading like H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6, and about paragraph like P and BR for line break. So let us learn about a few more things. Inside a body. So we have learned about adding a link. We have learned about adding an image. So we have also learned about if the image is not in the destination, how to add an alternative name. We also learned about how to add a height and width. And let's learn about how to style the paragraph, because it comes under CSS, but in case if you want to use this in HTML, you can also do it. Okay, let's learn about styling within the HTML. Okay, so let's initiate a paragraph. And let's say this is a paragraph. This is the paragraph, or orange is my favorite color, like that. So what I can do here is, and let me like change the color of the word. Orange is my favorite color. So to do that, what I have to do is I should go inside this paragraph, and after P I should type style, style, style. And what I have to do is I have to use the double quotes or single quotes as you wish. Then I have to name color, which should be in small letters COLOR. So you might be wondering why you use COLOR. The color might be having like different spelling at different parts. If you're like following British people, they will use like COLOR. But the HTML has been found by the Americans, right? So they follow COLOR, which is set inside the system. So even though if you're a British, you have different letters or different spelling for color, you should follow COLOR because that's a command. You should not change the words or letters for the command. So the style equal to COLOR color, and you should give the colon, and I'm entering red. So what happens is I should actually end this with a semicolon. What happens is orange is my favorite color will turn into red, or you can also use orange instead of it. So remember, everything should be in a smaller letters. Since we are doing it in a notepad, we have to remember, if you are using it in any text editor, it will actually suggest you, it will be like a lot easier than what we are doing in a text editor. I mean, what we are doing in a notepad than a text editor. It's like difficult in notepad, we have to remember it. So I have saved the file right here, so I'm going to open it. Orange is my favorite color, but it's not in orange. I don't know what happens with orange. I have to change the orange to red. Will it work like that? Wow, red is working, so orange is not actually inside the color name, so the orange is not working. So since I've written red, so the orange is my favorite color is in red color right now. So you can see here, orange is my favorite color is in actually red color. Great. So this is how you add a color to your text. So let me give you a heading here. How to add a color to your text in HTML. This is how you can do it. Okay, let's move on. So one more thing I just want to say. So your text is going to be in English, and the same page going to be in some other language, Spanish, French, or whatever you use. So how to define it? So inside the HTML, what you can do is give a space and type lang equal to, inside double quotation or single as per your wish, you enter en, which means that you're giving the command in English and this page will be displayed in English. This is how you can do it. You can also use any other languages within the HTML, but the command should be in English since it has been found by the English speaking Americans. Instead of absolute beginners coding, you can type in French, Spanish, or any other language, but this element should be in English because this HTML has been found by an American. So which means this en represents the pages in English. You can also enter sp for Spanish or fr for French and so on. This is another thing I just want you to know. So let's move on. So inside a paragraph, if you want to have a title, how you can do it? How to add a title inside a paragraph or in a line? Let's see it. So P and another P. So let me like tell it. Jupiter is the biggest planet on the solar system. So I just want this Jupiter to be bigger than the other words. What I can do is I can make it bigger by making it as a title. We can do like this: title title equal to, inside it, let me add it, Jupiter. Let me like save it right now. Let's open the file. See, Jupiter is the biggest as a L planet on the solar system, but it doesn't make Jupiter the bigger number. You can add title for your reference, but how to make this Jupiter big? To do that, you can actually enter bold and close it in bold. Will it work? Let's check it out. Now it doesn't work. So what happens if we are not using bold? Is P is enough? Let's see. Yes, you need not to type complete bold. Just B is enough to make the letter go bold. So you can see that Jupiter is really big than the other, which means Jupiter is the biggest planet on the solar system. Jupiter is actually in bold because we have entered Jupiter inside element P, which stands for bold. Let's move on. So how to enter a poem inside a paragraph? Let's see. So if you're trying to write a poem, what you can do? You can actually do like this. How to write a poem? Okay, let's go back and let me like enter 3 and close it with the same. Okay, let me write a poem. The apples are sweet, but not all apples are as sweet as you. Sun shines every morning, but you're my all day sunshine. Okay, that's a little thing that came to my mind. Okay, let's save it. Let's refresh, and you can see that this is in a different font, and this is in a different fonts actually. Let's save it again. Okay, so to make it even look beautiful, let's add some double quotation here. And save it. So you can see that the paragraph, I mean the poem, is in a different font, typically like typewriter font, and this is how you use pre inside the brackets to write a poem. So you can see the apples are sweet, but not apples are sweet as you. Sun shines every morning, but you're my all day sunshine. So this is a little poem right there. You can see that the font here is different from here because this is a typewriter default font when you write something inside pre, which means for poem. Okay, let's move on. You can change the size by using CSS, but we are learning about HTML right here, so I will teach you in CSS tutorial, so you need not to worry about the size of that right now. Let's move on right now. So what actually pre stands for? It stands for like pre-formatted text. Okay, so let's move on to some other thing. How can you add font and colors to your HTML document? So we have seen about changing the color. We didn't see about changing the font. Let me like teach you right now. Okay, let's learn about it. So I'm gonna add a h1 size file, and I'm gonna write down a little probe here. All the glitters are not gold. Okay, so I want to change the color, font, alignment, style of the same. So how can I do that? So I'm gonna type style within the h1 bracket, might be anything h1 or h2 or h3 or a, anything, which actually allows you to change it. It should be a tag name. So h1 is a h1 styled font as well as a tag name. I'm using it. So h1, inside the h1 I'm using style, and inside the style what I'm gonna use is I'm gonna add the color. So let's see what's the color that we can use. Red, and it should be separated in a semicolon, and I can use a font right here. So I'm using a font which is Verdana. So VERDANA, separated by a semicolon. And what kind of size I can have here? So font size is somewhere like 150%. Should be bigger than the other, right? Great. So we have to use it again. Let's save it. So let's go to the web page and refresh it. So all the glitters are not gold or in red color, and it is in the font type Verdana, and it's a of the size like 150% than the other thing. So let me do one thing. Let me like take out something so that you'll have an idea. So I'm copying the same, and I'm copying here, and I'm copying here as well. So what I do is I take out the font family. Okay, here what I do is I take out the color and font size so that you'll be having an idea. Let's save it. Let's go back to here. So I should also like use the line break. It will be like next to each other. Let me save it. Okay, you can see that here actually I have used the color red, and the font size is like 150% than the regular font size, and the font family is Verdana. But here what I have done is I have taken out the font family Verdana, but it has the red color and size is 150%. So you can see the difference between these two font family. And here what I've done is I've taken out the color and family, but 150% of the font size remains. So this is how it works. So what you can do is you can use h1 or h2 or h3 or h4 or h5 or h6 or p or a. You can use among these whatever I said, and you can type the name, and within the style what you can do is you can use a equal to, you can use the double quotes. For changing the color you should name the color name COLOR, and with the colon you can mention the color name, and we should separate the another thing, like you have to add the font size or font family with a semicolon, and you can add the font size and you can add the font family. Everything should be inside the double quotes and separated by semicolon as shown here, which will give you the result like this. All the glitters are not good. Okay, that's great. So let's move on. So how to like use a text align, like center or left or right, so it's the same. So what I do is, after the semicolon, what I do is I enter text align, TEXT, like little hyphen, and align, ALIGN, and with a little colon here I will enter like center. Let me like save it, and what I do is, let me go to the web page. So you can see that this is in the center because I have given this font align as center. So this is how you can use the font align. If it is on the right, it might be like on the right. So why to use this? You can actually use a space bars, right? You can use a space bar and move the words center. Why to use the command center? Because if somebody is using in a different screen or different devices, if you are using the space bar to center these words, it will come to the next line. But if you use a command, it will read the total size of the screen and it will place this word in exact center, no matter how the screen sizes changes. So this is a simple technique to learn. So let's move on. So let's see like how to change the background color of the word. Okay, with the same, I'm gonna explain it. So you can separate it with a semicolon, and I'm gonna write background color. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm using the colon here. I'm gonna give background color as yellow. Okay, let's see what happens now. You can see that background color is yellow. This is how you to change the background color. So since we have given it for only this words background will be changing into yellow. If you want the total page to change the yellow color, you can use it on a body, or you can use it inside the HTML. Probably don't use it inside a HTML. Use a or use it A might be fine, right? Use a and give the color. So let me like explain it to you with an example right here. So you can add a here like this, and you can add a tail, and you can name a background color. You can set it to a sky blue. I think it might work. I don't know, sky blue is what I have mentioned like here, and you have to like end the a, right? I go back and end the a. No matter how many a you use, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna save it, so the entire page will be in sky blue. Oh, it should be like out of the body, right? Okay, it's not working because what I did wrong. Let me like figure it out. So after the HTML I have given the same. So before the HTML I have closed it. So why the background color is, I think the sky blue is not a thing. Oh my god, look at here, I made a mistake. So background color, the spelling is wrong. Okay, it has taken only the heading here to blue, not the entire page. Okay, what went wrong? Let me like check it. So I mean, why only the first line went blue and not the whole background of every page? Okay, since it's a, it will be workable only inside the body. So that's a problem here. You cannot use a outside of your body. So let's do it another one. So what I can do is, let me like cut it and paste it here. Let work. I mean, not inside the head, inside the HTML itself. Let me see it. I don't know like whether it's gonna work or not. Yes, it has worked. So to change the entire background color of your page, what you can do is you go inside your HTML tag and place a style and background color to blue. So I'm gonna give some nice color here. What kind? Okay, can I give like pink? So everything will be in pink right now. It's actually nice, right? Seeing the page in pink. So every background is in pink. Since these two are like pictures, so they are not in pink. Great. So this is how you can change the background color. What you can do is you don't use a, because a is only valid inside the body. You can use only paragraph inside a body. So inside a head you cannot use a or p. So inside the header, what you can actually use is title, h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6. But you can use h1, h2, h3, h4 and 6 inside a body. Let's check it out. So I'm copying all this thing and I'm going to place it inside the body. So I want to check whether the h1 to 6 will work inside a body or not. Yes, actually it is working. Look here. But the a will not work inside a head. It will work inside a body alone. So to change the entire background color, what you have to do is inside the HTML element, you can add the style background color to pink. It will change the entire page to a pink color like as shown on the screen. Wow, that's great, right? So let's continue learning. Why I'm like showing all this thing in a very brief manner, because you shouldn't have any doubt since you guys don't know anything about HTML. Since this course is for someone who doesn't even know what a HTML is, it's for an absolute beginners, as the name suggests. So that's the reason I'm clearing all type of doubts you're having in your mind. It's good to have a doubt. It explains that you're learning, right? Okay, let's move on. So what are the different styles that you can use inside a body? Let's check. Okay. It's not actually not a different styles, it's a formatting of elements. Like this. Inside a word or line or paragraph. Anything is fine. Okay, let's see it right now. So if inside a word I want to add a bold text, what I can do? Okay, it's like this. Apple is my favorite fruit. Okay, this is inside A, and the first word apple will be in the bold. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see how to use another bold, which is a strong. Let me copy it and save my time. So instead of B, I'm gonna use strong. It doesn't have a short form, so you have to write strong. So now it will be apple will be in strong. Okay, let's move to the next one. What if I wanted to use an italic? Let's see. Instead of strong, just want to add I, like this. And what if I wanted to use an emphasized text? So instead of strong, I'm going to use EM, which is a shortcut. I mean M, which will be an emphasized text. Okay, let's move to a marked text. So instead of the same, what we can do is we can use mark, M-A-R-K. Okay, so instead of the same, we can use a smaller text. So what we can do is you can use small, S-M-A-L-L. So let's save it. And if I wanted to use a deleted text, which means that the text has been deleted, but we want to still show it to a user. So in case of the same, we can use DEL, which is a short form again. Okay, what happens if I wanted to use a inserted text which has been inserted newly? Great. So instead of the same, I'm going to use INS. So these are the keywords. You should not change the letters, it will not work. It should be inserted, or it should be typed as it should be. So if I want to use a subscript text, what I can do? So I can use SUB. That's a short form right there. It's easy to remember. So if I want to use a super text, so if I want to use a superscript text, I can use SUP. which is again easy. So let's see them all together. We go to my web page. Oh dear, everything is side by side. I have to use a line break. Okay, I have saved everything. Great. So, oh, everything is like this. I am like zooming in, so you can see it that I have zoomed in my web page so that you can have a clear view. So what are the different formatting of elements that can be used in a word, line, paragraph? So even though it is not so beautiful to see because I have to use the line break for every next line. Okay, so for bold, you can see apple is my favorite fruit, where apple is in bold. And similar to bold, there is also another thing which can be used is strong. So what's the difference is even a strong is same as bold. The only thing is bold is a little bit smaller in size, very little than bold. So if you want to add bold and strong in the same line, you can use both bold and strong. That doesn't matter. You can see that bold is slightly bigger in size than apple, which is strong. Okay, so then italic, which shows the apple, the word which we have used the italic in an italic line, in an italic format. And in emphasized text, we can see an apple is an emphasized word. Emphasized is slightly like not that much of a slanting than the italic, right? So it's not so curved, it's a little bit of curved. So if you want to use something which should be like having a very good curve, you can use italic, or which is a little curved, you can use emphasize. So normal people might not see any difference in that, but italic is actually easy, right? You can use I. So for a marked text, you can use mark, and you can ask me that marked has the like milky green background. Can I change the background? No, marked text will only comes with milky green color. If you want to change the color of the word, then you should actually use the background color for this word. You want to use some other color other than the milky green. So if you want to use some other color, you can actually use the background color by using the style option. Other than that, if you use mark, then it will be in a milky green. You cannot change it. Smaller text, which is apple. So since I have like zoomed it, you might see apple is even not so small, right? Because I have zoomed it, but you can see that it's smaller than the previous text. And deleted means there will be a cross in between, a strike, which is apple, which is deleted right here. And inserted means there will be an underline, and subscript means which will be like below the line. So you can see is my favorite fruit is in same line, and apple is in below line, which can be used for some mathematical symbols if you're using. And superscript can also be used like power of something like that in mathematical, like 2 to the power 5, something like that. So here you can see apple is in the above line than this one. So these are the formatting elements that we can use inside a body in HTML. Let's zoom out real quick. Okay, let's move on. So what else can we learn right now? So right now we have learned about some of the elements, formatting elements, and let us learn about the quotation and citation elements inside a HTML. So what are the quotation and citation elements? So let me write it down so that you will be having a idea about the same. Okay, HTML quotation and citation elements. The first one is block quote. So this is the first one, block quote, and the second one is Q. The third one is abbreviation ABBR. Third one might be if you're entering an address, you can use address directly, and if you're using a site name, then might be site. If you're using any videos, use it as a video. So let me explain you this in detail right now. So how to use a block quote? Okay, so if you're inside we are inside a body right now, right? And let's start a paragraph and end a paragraph right here. What I can do is I can add a block quote. So you should not add it twice. I mean, you can actually use it twice, no problem. There's a block quote right there. So what it says is, inside this block quote, we can say an apple day will keep the doctors away. An apple is a healthy and tasty fruit. An apple is always a favorite fruit snacks for the kids to stay healthy and filled stomach. So everything will be in a block quote right there. So since it's inside the block quote, and so all this will be in a block quote right there. You can also use the double quotations to mention it is a block quote. So let's save it and see it in the website. Let's refresh it. So you can see a block quote here, say, oh, a block quote actually comes in a default quotation. You should not add it again. So but I have added. Let's delete it, because automatically it will add the double quotation right there. So you can see, let me like go to the line, and you can see it's in a different font and an italic formatting element, which means that this is a block quote. An apple a day will keep the doctors away. An apple is a healthy and tasty fruit. An apple is always a favorite fruit snacks for the kids to stay healthy and fill stomach. So this is the quotation right there. So this is how you can use block quote. Okay, so what we can do is we can reduce the space so that it will look even more beautiful. So it should start next to the word, so it looks beautiful right like this. So it means it's a block quote. Okay, that's nice. So what else we have to learn? Site. Site means if you wanted to add a website name, you can actually use it. So how to use it actually? So for example, if I wanted to make this word in this blog quote a link, I can use the site here. Or also like here inside the blog quote, you can use site is equal to inside the double quotation https colon backslash www.apple.com, and let's save it. Let's refresh it. Did I save it? Okay, so what I can do is I can take out this and I can place it here, and I can say an example for block quote. Let's save it, and you can see it here, an example for block quote. But it should actually show the link, clickable link. I don't know why it's not showing. Let me like refresh it. I don't know what happened, but if you use site, it should actually take you to the link. So we have used site here, right? Okay, let me figure it out and clear it to you guys later on. Okay, let's move to the next one, which is queue. So why and where to use the queue? So let's see. Apple is a futuristic fruit that everyone likes. So what I can do is let me add a p here so that it means that this is a paragraph. Okay, so what I can do is I can separate the first word and I can add the q to the rest of the word. So what happens here, let me explain. Okay, let me like save this one. So now what happens, let's go to the website and let's refresh it. Apple is a fruit that everyone likes. So you can see that after apple another single quote has been added which separates the first apple. So if you want to separate some word and you want to add another quotation within the existing quotation, you can actually add q. So that's a use of the q. Okay, let me like separate this with pr. Okay, you can see here right now apple is a futuristic fruit that everyone likes. So if you add the p, it will be inside the double quotation, and if you want to separate another word and want to add another single quotation, you can add the apple inside the q so that it can be neglected or avoided. Okay, so we have learned about q again. Let's go to the next one. So abbreviations. So let's this abbreviations. You can also like separate the next with the h, which will be having a line. Everything comes under block quotes. I don't know why. Let me check the notepad. Okay, so I have used the block quote here, right? It is actually taking this as a command. That's the reason it is actually adding everything. So let me like remove it. So I think now it will be fine, because it is taking that as a command literally. Now let me refresh the page. So you can see that now everything is looking good. So if you're adding a q, that word will be neglected and the rest will be in a single quotation. And let's see how to use the abbreviations right now. So let's go. Because these things are like disturbing my page. So now let's see, everything is good right now. So let's go to the abbreviations and see how to use the abbreviations. So I'm writing again. So let me like insert a paragraph. So in the paragraph, what I have mentioned is the word www is the starting of any web page. So before and after www there is a abbr, which means abbreviation. So what happens is, if somebody places the cursor over the www, it will show World Wide Web. So let's test it out. So you can see the word www is the starting of any web page. If I place in front of like over the www, it actually shows World Wide Web abbreviation. So this is how to add abbreviations. I hope you guys learned it. Let's move on. Now let's see how to add an address. What you do is add within the quotation the address, and you can end the same with a backslash. Okay. Like Alexander should be separated with BR, and number 67 Street, New York City New York. It's just an example, guys. There is no address like this. Let's save it and let me go to the web page right now and let me refresh it. So you can see the address is in address format like this. Alexander number 67 5th Street, New York City, New York. So that's how you can add an address. Great. Let's move to the next topic right now. So I have already told you I'll be telling you how to use a site. Let's see it right now. Let's add a paragraph. Let's use site. That's nice. So I have used a site to separate the apple from the list of the lines in a paragraph. Let's see what happens if it does this. Let me refresh the page. So you can see that the apple is in a different formatting element than the other line. So the apple is in an italic from the other words which are like in a normal font size. So this is why we can use type to separate the word or words from the rest of the words. Okay, great. Let's move on. Wow, this is our page, guys. This is what we have done so far. So look, even if I'm like changing the size, that the center is inside the center. That's what happens if you use the tag elements properly, or it will be like roaming here and there. So let's go to the next chapter. So we have seen how to add the site. So let's see how to add bi-directional override, in short form BDO. Let's do it. Okay, so let's use dir, and within the double quotation or single, you can write whatever you want to write. Okay, that's nice. Let's save it and let's go to the web page and see what happens. So what I've done here is, in the BDO, we can actually mention the direction of the text. So R refers to right, T refers to L refers to left, which is right to left. So BDO, this is direction, and this is absolute beginners coding, will be in a right to left direction. Let's see it. Okay, you can see that everything has been from right to left. You can see this is absolute beginners coding tutorial. So that's the use of BDO, guys. You can actually change the direction of the letter. If you're writing something in Urdu or something like that, you can use this. Okay, you can also use the same for right to left or left to right. That's your wish. Let's move on. So in HTML, how to write a command? So I've said, like, we're not to use the commands. It's not actually, you can use the commands. Let's see how to use it. So you can use the open bracket, and you can use a close bracket. Between it, you can use the apostrophe and little double hyphens. You can write whatever you want. And you can close the same by using a double quotation and a closing bracket. So this is how to write a comment inside a HTML page. So you can open the web page, it will not be shown. Look, I have refreshed it, but the command is not shown. But if I didn't do that, it will be shown. So like, let me like take this out of the comment section. Now it will be shown. Look, absolute beginners coding, now it's showing. So this is how to use a comment. So basically what you can do is, inside a bracket, you can use apostrophe, and whatever command you want to write, you can write inside a double semicolon. Don't forget it. So we have already seen about how to use the colors inside the HTML element, but we're going to see like what are the different things that you can do by using colors inside the HTML. Let's see it. So basically what we have learned is we can actually use a color to change the text color. So we have already seen what are the background colors that we can use. So let's see furthermore. Right, H1 and again H1 again. So as you may know, style, and inside it we have to name the color, and it is red, then it will be red. I love apple. Okay, so let's do it with different colors right now. So let it be like green, yellow, purple, brown. Okay, let's see it. Okay, you can see it. I love apple in red, I love apple in green, I love apple in yellow, I love apple in purple, I love apple in brown. So you can add any color you want. There are like billions of color in here. Okay, now changing the background. Okay, I'm gonna use the same here. So background color, the same for everything, right? Okay, so the color might be again green, yellow, brown, purple, and also add white since the background of the page is in pink. Tomato is also a color here. Let's save it and let's see. Okay, here we have like different background colors: red, green, yellow, brown, purple, and white, and without any background color. So this is how to change the background colors. This is how to change the color. Okay, so how to change the border? Let's see it right now. Let's go back to the text. How to change the border color? Okay, let's do the same. So you can type whatever you want, and it might be h1, h2, h3, h4, h5, h6, or a or p, that doesn't matter. So what I'm gonna do is inside the background color, I mean inside the style, I'm gonna change the border. Border might be around 2 pixels big, and it will be a solid color. I will add blue, and that's it. This is how to add a border color, and the same happens for other colors as well. Right, so let it be like green, yellow, red, purple, brown, white, maybe tomato. Great, so let's see whether the border has changed or not. Okay, now we can see the border is in blue, green, yellow, red, purple, brown, white, and tomato color. This is how to change the border color. This is how to change the background. This is how to change the color of the text. Wow, these are nice, right? So what you have to do is inside the style mention border and how much thick your border should be, like 2 pixels or 3 or 2 or 1, and how thick it should be, like solid, and what the color is. That's how you do it. Let's move on. So you can also like instead of naming the color, you can also use the RGB pattern. How much thick the blue should be, how much less the blue should be. Let's see it right now. So what happens here, let me like give another title so that there will be no confusion. Okay, change the color thickness with RGB pattern. So let's see. Okay, okay, style equal to like border 2 pixel, right? So what I can do here is I can take the blue out and I can mention RGB, and inside this I can give the value for red, green, blue, like 255 of red and 50 of green and 10 of blue. So I don't know what color is this. Let me check it out. Let me save it and let's go to the web page. Let's refresh. So the border will be in a red color. Wow, that's nice. So let's test it in a background so it will be like beautiful. Okay, so you can see there's like it's a red, but it's a different kind of red. Let's experiment more with the RGB pattern. Okay, I'm gonna change the last like 200 or 300 or 150 or 450 or 222 or 10. So let's see what happens. Wow, these are the different colors. I mean like light pink. This is, I think, a violet. This is a darker pink, and this is somewhere between pink and violet, and it's a soft pink. It's red. It's kind of orange, I think, this both. So this is how to change the colors with the RGB pattern, guys. So red, green, blue is the primary colors, or the primary colors. So you can use them to change the value. You can change the colors. If you want to specifically use lighter blue in the background or darker blue in the text, you can choose the RGB. If you know the pattern for each and every shades, then it will be quite useful to you. And you can also use the percentage as well. Let's see them. You can actually use the percentage instead of the number or color value. What we have used is color value, so instead of that we can use actually the percentage. Let's see, RGB percentage. Okay, so let me copy it, paste it, and like 10% of red and 50% of green, and again 10% of blue. I don't know what color will come. Let's see. I think I didn't save it properly. It's a green. So likewise, you can also use the percentage instead of values. Let me like change everything. Since it's a percentage, the maximum percentage is 100, right? Okay, so it's time to add the percentage symbol. Let's save it. Okay, now let's check in the website right now. Wow. So dark green, grass green, even shady green, light green, and yellow, greenish yellow, and dark green. So this is how to use a percentage instead of values in RGB coloring pattern. Wow, this page is really colorful. Great, let's move on. Instead of using the color names, if you know the value, you can also use that. Let me like tell you right now. Okay, let me use an example instead of the names, values, using values. Okay. Now, what I'm gonna use is I'm gonna use the value instead of the name. Okay, so this will be the background color right now. Let's see what value is this. It's a tomato color. Yeah, it's a light orange, you can say that. So you can use the values instead of naming the color names. You can also use the RGB pattern. You can use the RGB values. You can use the RGB percentage as well. So this is how you can actually uh, give the colors. Great, let's move on. So instead of using the RGB colors, you can also use the HSL and HSLA colors. Let's see about that. Great. So the same pattern. But I'm going to use HSA colors instead of the value right here. Great. So what HSL means? H means hue, S means saturation, and A means HSL, actually L means lightness. But let's see what happens. You can use the percentage of this, but before that I think we have to use the name of the color. Okay, let's see. Great. Let's refresh it. So it's just I love Apple. I think I didn't refresh it properly. It's still I love Apple. I think there's something I have to do. Oh, we did not do mention the color, I guess so. Okay, just HSL is enough. Oh my dear Lord, what's happening? It should work, but I don't know what went wrong. Probably any spelling mistake. But I don't see any spelling mistake right here. Wow, something really went wrong. I don't know what. Okay, probably I should change the h to 0. Let's see now. Still, it doesn't change. I don't know what went wrong. Okay, now I understood. The first value, we should not actually use a percentage, because that's a hue, right? Okay, now we can see it. Now let's see. Wow, we have seen the color right now. So because the first is the hue is a color, right? There's no percentage in that. Okay, everything is good. Back to normal. Okay, so now let's change it and play with it. Okay, let's see what happens. Great. So we have some shades of white and a grayish brown, light brown, like a bright white, dark brown, or reddish dark brown, or a dark brown, or a light brown, or a gray. Okay, this is how the color works, guys. So this is how you can use the HSL. So now let's see how we can use the other, which is HSLA. So IA means the alpha channel, I mean the opacity. So now we can see the opacity of the same color. So we can add a. Great. Nice. Okay, so now change the opacity. I mean, you cannot like change 100% because it will be transparent. Okay, now let's see it. Right, so we are seeing the different shades of gray here, different opacity, like a lighter one, a darker one, a complete 10% only visible. So these are the different shades of opacity if you use the HSLA. So you can also use this to add the color to your background or the text or the border. Anything is your choice. Let's move on. So now let us see like what are the styles that we can actually use inside a HTML. The styles in the sense like CSS. So what are the CSS styles that we can actually use in the HTML than what we have seen earlier? So there are like three types of CSS styles that we can use, which is an inline, internal and external styles. So let's see. So what we have seen so far is like inline style. So let us see about internal and external style. So in inline style, that we can actually name the style inside the line and you can use it. In internal style, we can add a style element inside the head section, and in an external style we can actually link the CSS page to a HTML page. So we can see the CSS page in a CSS tutorial. So this is a HTML tutorial, so we don't see about that in this. So let's see what are the different options here. So what we can do is if I go back here and I take out the background color like this, and what I can do, this is an internal CSS, how to use the same. So next to the head, like here, I can add another element which is style, and what I can do is I can change the color of the body. Okay, I'm going to the body right now. So okay, so how to change the color of the body? I'm gonna type body without any quotation and anything, and I can use the curly brace, and inside that I can use background color, and I can name it like red, and I can actually change the color of H1 and A. I can mention here. So since I've separately given, I don't want to change it, so let me like check the body right now. So the background of the body will be changed right now. So look, the background of the body is in okay, I have to refresh it, right? So the background of the body is red, so I think it's visible right now since everything has been in red. So let me change the background into yellow. So now the body will be in yellow. So you can see that the body is in yellow. So this is how to use the internal CSS. We can actually enter an extra element after the head as style, and you can name the body and you can change the body color completely like this. So since I've done many things with the previous work, I don't want to waste it down and I'm gonna delete it. So this is how to use the internal CSS. The external CSS, you can actually add a link here and you can link the page of CSS so that the HTML will link to the external CSS. So let me like tell you how to do that. So after the head, we will be using a link section here, and we'll be adding a link, and we will be writing rel or rel and equal to double quotation, and this will be the style sheet, right? Because CSS stands for cascading style sheet. And after that you have to write the href, and you can add the file name of the CSS like styles.css. so the CSS will be linked to the styles of this HTML. This is the external CSS. How to use the external CSS? This is the link right there. So this is how to use external CSS. And internal CSS we have seen earlier, and inline CSS what we have using. So this is the three form that you can use the styles guys, the CSS in your HTML. We can link the HTML through this. Okay, let's go back. Let's see what else we can do with the HTML. A lot of things to learn. So there's actually like we can add the links to the HTML in different types. So let us see that. Different types of CSS links. So this is a command right there. So let's see what are the different types of CSS links that we can add. So first, let's see how to add a target link. So let's see how to add a target link. So to do that, you can either use P or A. It's your wish. And inside that you can actually tell visit apple.com. Okay, so inside the A you'll be like href, and you can use the links you want to add. Upper. Next, what we have to do, https www.apple.com is the h reference. But how to use this link? This is a blank link, so I'm going to use blank here. So what's a target here? So we can use a target, right? So what's a target here? Let's see. Target is actually blank, which starts with the underscore. Target blank, and it should go inside the A, right? Okay, this is how to use a target, and we have used target blank, so which is there is no target. And how to use the absolute URL versus relative URLs? Let's see. So let's see how to use the absolute and relative URLs. Absolute URLs right here. So let me like add a and what's inside this is href. Let me add URLs like https www.apple.com. This is a absolute URL that we have used earlier, so we know about this. So now use the relative URL. Okay, now what we can do is you can actually use a image instead of the word. That's a relative URL. What I can do is I can copy this and paste here, which means the same thing we are using. So here's the thing. So if you're using an absolute URL, you can use the URL of a web page. But if you're using a relative URL, if you have a page inside your project or inside your folder, you can show that page. So that means you can show an image, you can show a web page which is inside your folder, not a URL. So that's a relative URL. So for example, let me like show you like this. A and okay, I have to save the HTML image for that. Let me like save an HTML image for that. if I save a page, it might be showing. So wait, let me like save my page. Absolute beginners coding. Let me go to D, and let me go to Apple's website, and let me save it. So now I can show this. Okay, so now let me like show this. So this is the web page I am saving, right? What's the name of this? Absolute beginners coding. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna name it like friendly manner. Okay, it's abc.html. Now let's see. So this is a relative URL. So if you have any URL pages inside your folder, you can use a relative URL. So let me close this, and we name it ABC. Let me close this. Let's save it. Oh my god, that's a mistake right there. So that's how you can do it, but that's a slightly different manner. So I have to figure it out later on. Okay, this is the actual page, right? Let's save it, and let's see. So this is a relative URL. So the page is not found because that's not stored in a proper manner, but this is how to use it. If you have any web pages within your folder, you can use a relative URL. If you want to link the website to through the URL page, you can actually use the absolute URL. And you can also use an image instead of a name or word. Let's see that in a relative URL. So what I will do is I will use a image to click on the link. If I have an image, it will show up. Everything is same. Now what I can do is I can name my apple. So let me like name the apple red. applered.jpg. Okay, so it should show the apple image actually. So that's how you can use a relative URL. Okay, let's move on. How to use a link to the URL. Let's see the HTML images. What I can do is I'll use a and So I will use href, and inside the href I will use the URL, which is apples.com, and here is the apple, and I should use the image, right? So what I do is I will use a image here, and I will write a source, which is red apple.jpg, what we have in the folder. And if that is not showing, the alternate would be red apple. And you can also add the styling to this. With the width, which is actually 100 pixels, and the height with the same. So this is how to use HTML images at the link. Let's go and see. Okay. So there should be an apple shown here. That should be shown. Okay, apple red, not red apple. Okay. Now let's refresh it. Oh, okay. I've entered in the wrong place right there. Now let's see. Okay, so this is the Apple image. If you click on it, it will go to Apple website like this. So this is how you can actually use a image clickable URL. Great, so let's move on. You can also actually use a clickable link to send an email. So let's see now. So you can add a, as usual, so href equal to like We can also like send the email like contact google.com, so then it will automatically lands on the same. You can name it as contact google like this. Let's save it. So here you can see contact google, and if you click on it, it will go to the contact google page like that. We use a Gmail. Let's see what happens. Okay, this is the link. It's actually not showing. It should land on the Gmail page. Okay, now understood. I have to use a complete name, right? Like this. Now let's see. Okay, it's landing on a email page, right, to send an email. So this is how it works. And let me go back. So how to use a button as a link? So basically, like can use a name button. Okay. And like we can write on click equal to, and within the double quotation, what we can do is document dot location equal to, where's the location we have to send, because if you have a document we can actually send it to there. Okay, let's see, like the location what I have, HTML tutorial. Okay, and can name here something, my HTML tutorial. So now if you click on the button, this is the name of the button, or let it be like simple or like big. Okay, let's see. So this is my HTML tutorial button. If you are clicking this, since it's the same page, it's landing on the same page. You can use some other document location as well. Will take you to the document. This is how you use a button as a link. You can also use a URL instead of on click. I mean, instead of the document dot location, you can also use href. That's up to us. Let's move on. So, how to link a title? Let's see. Here's the href equal to https and www.apple.com, and the title would be Apple. And another Apple would be fine. This is how to link a title. Let's go. Okay, so this is the title here, Apple, and we are landed on Apple. Okay. How to change the colors of the link at different times? What happens if we hover over a word? There should be a color. If you have selected the link, it should change the color. So let's see the color changes on HTML links. Okay, now what we can do is we can use this using CSS, not use it in a HTML. So what happens is, let me like use it inside the HTML itself using style, and let me like use like hash hello. Okay, I should do it in a different page. It will not work on a HTML page. Let me do it in a different page. Yeah, actually the color change on HTML should be a CSS1. Let me skip it because you cannot do it in a HTML. You should be having a separate page. That's a topic of CSS. I will teach you in CSS tutorial. So you can basically see a color of a word which is a clickable link if it is in a black. If you during the clicking, if you are selecting it, it will turn into another color. You can do that like green or red or something else. After clicking, it should turn into some other color like brune or violet or something like that. This is how we can do it. Okay, so now let's see like how to create a bookmark. If for example we are using like h2, it will be like id equal to c4 and it will be a chapter. So this is a bookmark. Right now you can use the id and you can name the bookmark as you wish. So this is a bookmark, so it will take you to the chapter 4, and this is a id, how to use a id. So now let us add a link on where it should take us. Great. And href equal to then double quotation 4, like jump to the chapter 4, and it will take us to the chapter 4. This is how to add the bookmark. So it will be continued. I'm gonna have a break right now. Let's wait